So about 6 months into playing guitar, I started playing cover shows, and there was a little Cajun restaurant back home in Columbia that said that they would give me $100 and all I could eat crawfish. If
Sounds like a good deal.
Oh, yeah, look at me. I'm not losing money.
Hey friends, it's your girl Emily Curl here at iHeartRadio, and today we're hanging out with country music artist Shane Profitt is here. Can we give it up for Shane?
Thank y'all. Thank you very much.
Shane, it's your first time at iHeartRadio. We're so glad to have you, but it's also your first time in New York City.
It is. It is wild.
You were just sharing a few stories with us. What is your very first impression of New York?
People don't wave back. So as soon as we got in the cab to come here from the airport, I just started waving at people. That's what you do. And we started like keeping tabs on how many people would not wave back before one finally did.
And how long did it take before you got
11 people.
11?
I waved at 11 people, and then finally number 12 waved back at me. So.
All right, so you're hitting some spots. You got Joe's Pizza last night, you said. You're staying in Times Square. Mm-hmm. Anything else that's like on the New York to-do list? Have you seen a rat yet, by the way?
I haven't.
You haven't?
I saw a trap, though. So we went to Chinatown, and I saw this rat trap. It looks like a beaver trap back home. Y'all's rats must be absolutely huge.
Oh, yeah, they're big. But my sister, when she lived here, she always thought it was good luck to see a rat on the subway. So I don't know how I feel about that. But
I don't either. I don't either. I feel like they might gnaw at my feet and get my big toe or something.
Anything else, though, that you want to do in New York while you're here?
Yeah, so I just visited the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, how was that?
It was great.
Yeah?
It was insane.
Is she prettier in person? What do you think?
Oh, yeah. Well, and see, I don't think pictures do it justice because I knew it was big, but I didn't know how big. And it's ginormous.
So fun. Okay, so you're hitting all the stops. But you are coming from where? Where's home for you?
Columbia, Tennessee.
Oh, Columbia, Tennessee.
I'm about an hour and 20 minutes south of Nashville.
Wow, and is that where you grew up?
That is. I'm the only one in my family born and raised in Tennessee.
No way. Mm-hmm. And then, so did you grow up, like, going to Nashville? Like, were you always a part of the country music scene?
No. So, actually, I picked up a guitar about 4 years ago.
No way.
I did. So, all of my family's from Eastern Kentucky.
Okay.
So, I grew up around bluegrass. But I could never play at family functions with them because I didn't know how to play. So, 4 years ago, my granddad asked what I wanted for Christmas. And I told him I wanted to learn how to play guitar. And he taught me G, C, and D on guitar. I kind of learned the rest on my own with YouTube videos and
yeah,
stuck
so that's
with
where you
it.
got it. So your family plays bluegrass music. Growing up, like, what was that like? Were you guys, y'all were always listening to music? You were always singing? Did you always know you could sing?
Well, so I grew up in a little small Baptist church, and my mom would always sign me up to go to the choir, and I would just stand there holding her hand. And a lot of times I wouldn't sing. I would just kind of people watch. But, she always wanted me involved some way or another. And so, I think that's really important that my mom actually, she plays stand-up bass and my dad plays banjo. So I was always around
music
it.
was always in it.
Yeah, I was always around it. And they actually had a bluegrass band for a little bit. And they would travel and play all these little small churches all around.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so then you're starting to learn how to play. This is 4 years ago. When do you release, like, your first original song?
So I played guitar for probably about 6 months and learned all the Hank Jr. and Merle Haggard and Keith Whitley songs. And I started getting, what I thought was good enough to go out and play live, play cover shows. So about 6 months into playing guitar, I started playing cover shows, and there was a little Cajun restaurant back home in Columbia that said that they would give me $100 and all I could eat crawfish.
Sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, look at me. I'm not losing money.
What was a cover song that the crowd went the craziest for that you feel like was your specialty?
Whiskey Benton Hellbound, Hank Jr.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that was like your first big performance. And from there, did it just keep growing and growing? What was the moment that you feel like something switched where you're like, okay, I'm really getting some traction here?
So I started writing shortly after that. And I was having to work full time for this. I was working full time for the city back home in Columbia.
Oh, what were you doing for the city?
I was the guy that would cut the grass in the medians of the road.
Oh, no way!
Yeah.
So keeping it fresh in Columbia.
Oh yeah, keeping it looking good, striping it up. That's for sure.
Striping it up, like the golf stripes.
Oh yeah, I could stripe that sucker up with a bush hog. Yeah.
Okay, so you're doing stripes, you're making music.
And a lot of times I would take my guitar to work with me and leave it in the back seat. Once I would get off work, I would drive to Nashville. And Instagram was my best friend. I'd get on Instagram. And a lot of songwriters have that they're a songwriter in their bio on Instagram.
Yeah.
So I would just message a bunch of random people and be like, "Hey man, you want to write after work?" And some of them would say yes, and a lot of times I would go up there after I got off at 4:00, and a lot of times I wouldn't get home till midnight.
And you were just writing songs.
I was writing songs, and then so I was playing gigs full time as well. Every Friday, Saturday, Sunday night.
And at this point, are you incorporating some of your original music into the cover songs?
Yeah, so I started doing that probably about 2 months after I first started writing.
Okay, so it was quick.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty quick, and I started getting a good response back. So I was like, well, maybe I'm not too bad at this, Maybe I need to try this.
5 years from now, when you have everyone knows the lyrics to your songs, they're singing it back to you. You go back to Columbia. Where are you playing that first hometown show?
I would probably say it would be between two places.
Okay.
So the Cajun restaurant that I first ever played, it's not there anymore.
Oh.
I know. The crawfish were good. That's not why they went out of business. I don't know why they went out. I would have to say either the Mule House. That was probably my biggest show up until all this started. I got to open for John Langston, and they call it like a Little Ryman Auditorium in Columbia, Tennessee.
The Little Ryman.
The Little Ryman. But it's really special. That was my first ever full band show.
Wow.
And it was sold out, and it was really special. So I would have to say either there or a place called Puckett's. Puckett's.
Grocery in Nashville?
Oh yeah, you've heard of it?
I've been there before.
All right,
yeah,
so
it's
they
a cool
have.
spot.
Yeah, it is. So they have one in Nashville, in Franklin,
Oh yeah.
in Columbia, in Chattanooga, and Gatlinburg. So.
Oh my God, I'm here for that.
Yeah,
okay, I'm ready for that show.
Their Piggy Mac's good too.
Okay, so when you think about your music, I feel like your voice kind of reminds me a little bit of Luke Combs. Do you get that at all?
Thank you. First of all, that's a huge compliment. If I'm half as successful as he is, I'll be very happy. But yeah, I could probably see that a little bit. But my thing is, I'm just trying to be Shane Profitt. I want whenever people click on my music or tune in on the radio, whenever they hear that intro and hear that voice for the first time, they know it's Shane Profitt.
So for those fans just discovering your music, how would you describe it to them? What type of country music are you playing?
I would almost say Hank Jr. lyrics with Florida Georgia Line melodies.
Oh shoot!
So that's kind of I want something that just makes people feel something in the end. Whether it be this or that, or getting drunk or calling an ex or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's like the fun side of country too. Mixed with the vulnerable. It's the best of country music.
Exactly. Because as an artist and a songwriter, all you're trying to do is make somebody feel something.
Yeah. So. Of all the artists right now, who makes you feel something? What artist are you really connected to right now?
I'd say on a personal level, Chris Janson, because a lot of this is because of Chris. He that was kind of the turning point for my career.
Was with Chris?
Yeah.
Oh, tell us that story.
I had to go get guitar strings for my guitar. I was working for the city full time, and I didn't even have a publishing deal, a record deal, anything. I didn't have anything. And I've been talking back and forth with this girl, and we weren't dating. We were kind of at that talking phase. Yeah, that talking phase. So I asked her. I said, "Hey, you want to go get guitar strings with me, and we'll make a date out of it. I'll take you to eat after." And she said, "Yeah, that'd be fun." So we drive 45 minutes towards Nashville, in a town called Franklin.
Okay, yeah, no Franklin.
And we get the strings, and I hop back in the truck, and I ask her, I say, "Hey, I told you I'd feed you. What do you want to eat while we're up here, honey?" And she said, "Well, I want sushi."
You don't like sushi?
Oh.
No.
Look at me. Come on now. Do I look like I want to eat raw fish? I want to eat fried fish. So I was a gentleman, and I took her to the closest sushi restaurant.
Okay.
So we get there, and Chris Janson holds the door for us when
You
we
know,
go
I was
to walk
wondering where
in.
Chris was coming into play in this
Yeah,
story.
okay. Yeah,
So
that's
now
where
we're full circle.
it's
So
a full circle.
So Chris is randomly at this sushi restaurant?
Yes.
I did not see this story going this way. Okay, so you're there
Yes.
on this date. You're not eating sushi, but you see Chris.
Yeah, so Chris holds the door for us when we go to walk in. Now, keep in mind, I had been to seven concerts my whole life, and to see Chris was 5 of them.
Stop it.
Yes.
So this was like meant to be.
Oh, this was, I call it a God thing.
Oh my
Hands
God.
down.
And if she would have been there, you would have never gone to get sushi.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. So,
Okay, so what do you say to Chris? Are you like, oh my
Well-
God, that's Chris?
Oh, yeah. So I'm freaking out for a second, right? Well, I didn't want to say anything or interrupt his dinner. So we go and we sit down, and I had it in my mind that whenever he got up to pay, I would just so happen to be paying right behind him, you know? And
So were you on the edge of your seat the whole time waiting for Chris? Like, were you looking?
yeah, so the girl ordered me a spicy tuna roll. I wad it up in my napkin. I'm done with it, right? So I'm like,
So does she know you're not into the sushi restaurant?
oh yeah, but I didn't want to tell her. I didn't want to tell her before that. You
Yeah,
know,
okay,
Then
okay.
she would have been like, "Oh, we don't have to go." Like, no,
Thank
you done
God you
said
did.
that's what you wanted. You know. She gets about halfway done with her sushi roll, and Chris Janson stands up, and I'm thinking, "Hey, this is my opportunity."
So
right
you're like, we
here.
gotta go.
Yeah, and she's halfway done, and so Chris stands up when we're about halfway across this restaurant. And I'm standing here all awkward for a split second, and I'm like, well, I'm halfway committed. I'm just going to go for it.
Go for it.
So I go up to the table, and I kneel down. I said, hey, I'm Shane Profitt. I work for the city in Columbia, just south of here, and I'm also a songwriter, and it would mean the world to me if you would listen to some of my songs. And he just kind of looks at me for a split second, looks at me like I'm crazy. I don't blame him. But it was just long enough, but just short enough, where it was like kind of awkward, but I couldn't tell if it was going to be or not.
Yeah.
Well, his wife that was sitting right beside him, Kelly, spoke up, and she said, well, I'm his music manager. I'm also a music publisher. If you want to send me some original songs,
Stop it.
is that a receipt you're holding in your hand? I could write my email down on, and you could send me some originals when we leave here.
Oh my God. What are the odds?
So what I did is I said, yes, ma'am, it is. And I went to hand it to her. And Chris spoke up, and he looked at me. He said, did you just say yes, ma'am? I said, yes, sir, I did. And he said, I like that. Pull up a chair and talk to me.
So where's the girl at this point? Is she just finishing her sushi roll?
Yeah, she went back and was finishing her sushi.
And you pulled up a chair? I love it.
Yeah, I pulled up a chair right there on the outside of the booth. And she's back here twiddling her thumbs and eating her sushi. And
Like, be right there.
yeah, I'll be right back, honey.
So then, okay, so you send the email, and then the rest was history?
Yeah, so we ended up exchanging phone numbers that night. 2 weeks after that, he signed me to a publishing deal and asked me to
God.
come out and open for him on the Halfway to Crazy tour.
Oh my gosh. What was that experience like?
Because he signed me to a publishing deal and asked me to come out on the road with him, I got to quit my city job.
Who does the stripes now? Do they look as good?
Oh, no.
So, and the tour was an amazing experience?
Oh,
You loved
yeah.
it?
The tour, so before that tour, I'd only been to 4 states.
No way.
And I think now I'm up to probably 32.
What's been your favorite city or state so far?
New York is an experience,
Yeah.
but I was in Colorado last week, and that was probably my hands down favorite.
Yeah, I feel like it's so beautiful out there.
Oh, it's gorgeous. We were riding in the plane, and I look out the little window, and there was a mountain with snow still on it, like at eye level. It was insane.
The best.
Yeah.
Well, Shane, you're going to be going around more and more. This is only just the beginning for you. Can you give us a little teaser into music, tours, music videos, all of the above? Give us the rundown. What can we expect from you this year?
Yeah, so I have a single, How It Ought to Be. Growing up, we sat at the family dinner table every night. My mom would cook. And there's a lot of craziness going on in today's world. And in the chorus of How It Ought to Be, it says, the world ought to try a piece of mama's chicken and feel the love around her tabletop in the kitchen. I'm a firm believer that there's a difference in a house and a home.
Oof,
And
yeah.
I was super, super blessed to be raised in a home. And I can't help but think that if everybody in today's world was raised up in a home and got to feel the love around their mama's, kitchen table, we'd be living in a whole lot better place. So that's kind of what the single's about.
Oh, that makes you want to go call my mom after this. I'm gonna
You
have
should.
to. I love
I
that.
just called mine right before I came in here.
What'd you tell her? I like New York.
I've been FaceTiming her like every hour.
Just being like, here's where we're at now.
Yeah. Here, look at this building. Look at this one.
What does your family think of all this? Like the success, your music, everything. That's got to be crazy for them too.
Oh, yeah, it is. Because right now I'm only home for like 12 hours at a time. And my mom, she at first she was kind of nervous about all this, but now she's kind of warming up to it, and she realizes this is what I love. So, her and my dad both are actually really happy. Obviously they wish they could see me a little bit more, but they realize this is what I love to do and what I want to do.
And have they seen you? Did they get to see you on the Chris tour, Chris Janson tour?
They were at quite a few shows actually. They would, a lot of times if it was within like 8 hours, they would make the drive and they would come see me. So
whatever happened with the girl from the sushi restaurant?
that was our first and last date. Probably because I didn't let her finish eating.
You pulled up a chair with Chris Janson.
Yeah.
That was a true date right there with Chris.
It was.
Shane, this has been so fun. Thank you so much. Congratulations on everything. Can we get up for Shane one more time?
Thank you.
And of course, thank you all for watching. Make sure you stream all of Shane Profitt's music on iHeartCountry. And we'll see you guys next time.